Hello, and welcome to another episode of Down Darker Trails.
Dun, 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 dun.
Iron, Dust, and Blood.
Oh
That's
boy.
that's my Bela Lugosi. Did I hit it?
I'm super spooked.
Oh, I thought you were
Super
doing-
spooky.
I thought you were doing some sort of off-brand Goosebumps thing, so I was just trying to remember.
I was thinking Haunted Mansion, so like
Oh, like from Disney?
yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that'd be probably
That would be a fun one to run.
Well, that also like that voice like matched, like, you know, lost her head. Oh,
Never leaving here again.
Actually, that's exactly what it sounds like. Now that all right,
I was not paid to do the voice at the Haunted Mansion.
Disney, if you're looking for someone to like record,
Like if you're gonna revamp it, I'm here. We know they're already watching because of our super IP compliant Disney episode, but you know, there's always options. Hi everybody.
they're gonna drop the hammer on us at any moment.
Yeah, our house is just gonna go black. We're just gonna lose power. Oh, look out, motherfuckers! I'm here to enforce IP compliance. And they're just gonna beat the shit out of us. Anyway, as people are just like, what am I watching? Bye. Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Call of Cthulhu Down Darker Trails, Iron, Dust, and Blood. We're gonna get started with the action real quick here. Once around the room, just introduce our cast, and then we're gonna dive right into the action with a quick recap. Let's start with our new cast members that just joined us for the first time last week. Indigo Jones, how you doing?
Hi everyone, my name is Jake, and I am playing a Dr. Early Lanyon, because that's what we've decided that it's going to be.
But the overlay says Leighton.
Shut up!
Look, there's a lot of things that happen.
Lanyonton.
Lanyonton. You know, I you know what? Dr. L. How's that?
Dr. L. Dr. L for short.
Yes, my name is Jake, like I said, and I'm playing a very secretive doctor, but you know, we'll figure it out. Doctor, I like Doctor. That one's the best one. That's the one we're keeping. Doctor. Anyways, all right, I'm done. I'm getting us off track.
Yeah, you know,
We're never
we're
on
here to
track
have fun
here.
and play games. And next up, Ms. Bonnie Baker.
Hi, I'm BB Gaines. You can call me BB. I'm playing Bonnie Baker, who is a reporter, and she hasn't really encountered anything that spooky, so we're gonna have some fun tonight.
She's about to. And some of our longtime cast members, Mr. Mason Dula as Dallas Rex.
That's me, present. Hey everybody, I'm playing Dallas Rex. I saw a spooky thing. I used to be a sheriff, but now I'm not. I don't really know what would my character is he he's just a general investigator now.
Yeah.
of
So
spooky
as we're
things.
transitioning to the pulp Cthulhu thing, they say that they're called heroes now instead of investigators, but we're gonna stick with investigators. I like it. Keeps it nice and generic for everything you come across. But yeah, he's seen some shit. He's been through some stuff. Good thing we have a doctor now that prescribes alcohol.
Like a good doctor should.
Yeah. And last but not least, Ms. Maybelle Manroe.
Hi everybody. I'm Diana. Welcome.
Welcome in. Maybelle has also seen some shit, been through some stuff.
No.
And you know, they're stronger for it. And we are missing the other Monroe sister. Mags is off in the desert learning how to blow things up better, and Emily will be rejoining us in a future episode. And I'm your storyteller, Justice. I'm here to bring the pain. And speaking of bringing the pain, we have a little bar down at the bottom that we are unable to reset at this moment because we forgot about it. But
yeah, sorry guys if this pops up a big thing. Oh no, we're cool. We're fine. I'll reset it right now.
Okay, we'll reset it. It worked out perfectly last time for an auto fail. So if we hit our $50 goal, at some point during the night when it is dramatically appropriate, myself as the storyteller will decide that one of the players automatically fails one of their rolls, which can lead to some disastrous consequences for our hero investigators, as we're about to see. So last week we had sort of an introduction with some of our new party members, where they got to speak with our older, more traveled members.
Who
and,
you
and
calling
find
old?
find out a little bit about their adventures and the things that have haunted them. And we found out a little bit about Miss Bonnie Baker, a reporter, and Dr. Dr. L.
Dr. L.
Fuck
Dr.
you guys.
Early
I
L.
hate you.
Dr. Early L sounds like a rapper.
Look, we are trying to make it easy for everyone. We're not being mean. We're just making sure to, it's a fake game. Have a weird name.
You.
Dr. Early.
There you go.
And we met the Royal Academy for the Preservation of the Natural Order representative here in San Francisco that introduced himself as Herbert Edward Welsh, and he brought the intrepid Dallas Rex and the indomitable Maybelle Manroe to their new residence here in San Francisco, where they will work for Rapno and solve mysteries around the world. Promptly, when they thought they were going to have a nice quiet dinner, they were invited to the house of J.P. Manroe, where they found a strange tale of haunting and otherworldly interactions. And the family left the investigators to their own devices. And the Dallas Rex, formerly known as Sheriff, decided to reach across the other side and peek behind the veil, and something peeked back. And so when we left them, they were facing a horrible, deformed figure, a masterpiece of ugliness, as it was described. And that's where we're going to rejoin them, and we're starting with a sanity roll for Ms. Bonnie and Master Rex.
I passed.
Ooh, I passed.
Regular
too.
success.
You all each lose 1 point of sanity as you see this, and it shocks you to your core. There was nothing standing there previously, and suddenly, with the flash of light in the distance, as the gas lights came on across San Francisco, it was there in the shadows, facing you. Nice. And just as quickly, it was gone. But the after image of its hideousness burned itself into your retinas, so when you closed your eyes, it was flashing there for a moment. And as time passed in the quiet, it faded, but it was still in the back of your mind. Ms. Bonnie, how do you respond to being faced with something like this?
Now, Mr. Dallas Rex, in your professional opinion, when should we burn the house down?
Mags, get the shit. She's not here. Hey, Maybelle, doctor. I'm just gonna yell across the house. House is haunted, by the way. I'm just gonna turn to Bonnie and just kind of nod. I mean, I'm okay with burning it to the ground now, if I'm being completely honest. It's just,
What on earth was that?
Ghost, I guess. I mean, I only know a little bit more than you. I've only been at this a few months at this point. I don't know if there's a name for things. Maybe you should start like a bestiary or something.
Well, all right. I'll start nervously, just writing down, kind of describing what I saw.
So it was standing like near the fireplace.
It was you all were sitting at the dining room table and facing the wall, if I recall, with the windows behind you, and it was just directly ahead of you, which happened to be where the fireplace was, which is also kind of the darkest part of the room, where the shadows were the deepest.
I would like to get up and just kind of like see if I could, like, is the air cold there? Is there anything different about the ground, footprints?
Maybelle, sorry, I got Bonnie stuck in my mouth. Maybelle and Dr. Early, do you all come running when Sheriff Rex shouts?
Did the shout sound nervous? Because that was a pretty, like, calm call.
Oh, yeah, I think it was not nervous. It was just kind of a, you should come see this sort of thing.
You know, unless someone tells me otherwise, I'm gonna finish whatever song I'm playing on the piano right now.
Why aren't they coming back here?
I'm gonna, as soon as she asks that, I'm gonna like stiffen up and go walking in there, assuming like a ghost has now like taken over their bodies or
I'm
something.
gonna
Just
immediately follow him.
Okay.
Don't leave me alone.
There wasn't anything in particular there in the fireplace that you noticed.
Okay.
It hadn't, again, like most of the other parts of this house, it hadn't been used in a while. We're in early spring. Well, I guess we're coming up on May, June, so they wouldn't have had a fire lit in there for this reason either. Dr. Early, you hear the call from the other room, and you see that Maybelle doesn't seem to care all that much and continues playing her song.
Well, I had already told Dallas that I was going to keep an eye after Maybelle, so I'm not leaving either.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm just gonna finish my song. Like, I don't know how long that takes, but I'll get up and leave when
Okay.
it's done.
She doesn't come running, but the four of you all sort of meet as Maybelle and Dr. Early come out of the atrium where the piano was, and you all come out of the dining room and sort of Scooby-Doo style meet there in the foyer, if you will.
You guys okay?
But yeah, but
I-
we're fine. Bonnie, what's wrong?
Well, Mr. Rex here had us sit down at the kitchen table, and he got all quiet, and he told me to sit with him, and he held his hands like this, and all of a sudden they slapped down on the table, and everything went dark. The candles went out, and there was this horrendously ugly figure in the darkness by the fireplace. In seconds, it was gone.
So you guys didn't see anything in here?
Well, no, there's just a piano and some furniture. There's nothing. I didn't see anything. Doctor, did you, you were poking around. Was there anything else in the room?
Not on our end. I heard you. Heard the two of you hollering, and well, I made a promise to you to watch after. So I did. I figured you would be able to handle yourselves.
Fair enough. Was the song really that important though? To play the whole thing?
You know I'm not in the business of finishing anything halfway. Besides, it didn't seem like you were in any danger. I'm sorry. I would have come, but what do we do?
When is Mags getting back? Because I want to just want to burn this place to the ground.
Oh, well, now hold on. We promised those nice people that we were gonna try and look into this for them.
Yeah, try. Key word.
You want to be responsible for destroying another family?
Now, Mr. Rex, did it take control of you somehow?
I sure as hell didn't slap the table on my own. I mean, I'm willing to give it another shot, but I think we might want to poke around a bit more first.
That seems unwise if it's able to take control. Doctor, have you ever dealt with someone who's been possessed before?
No.
Does he look like he believes any of this?
Not even a little bit. Like, let me rephrase it. He believes that you had seen something, right? And he understands, and you specifically have had conversations where he says he has dealt with people who has seen things, right? But he himself is more skeptical of the situation. He's just like, no, I didn't see anything, and why would I? That was kind of his facial reaction, you know.
You
Look,
all
maybe. Go ahead.
You all were in the kitchen?
The dining room where you left us.
Well, that's odd. They didn't really mention any kind of malevolent activity in there, just childhood pranks.
Yeah, it's almost like they might have lied about stuff or not told the whole truth on account of scaring us away.
If you're gonna invite strangers over to your house and tell them that you think it's haunted, don't you think you're just gonna tell them the whole story instead of parsing lies here and there?
Well, I will remind you, they did say there were swords flying about and a man ran screaming with the gates flying open.
Well, that
Literally
was in the
blowing off.
that was in the study and then outside. So why don't we go take a look at the study and see if there's anything off in there?
God, I wish I had taken like a psychic thing so I could like just pull books off of shelves to fuck with people this time. I mean, where's the study from here? Is it?
It's so you enter the foyer. The door is behind you. The dining room is off to the right, and the study is off to the left. The doors are closed and curtains are pulled across that room.
I will head towards it.
I have to ask all of you, do we think that this is real, or do we think that someone is trying to throw wool over our eyes? I think it's very important that we establish what we all feel right now.
Of course we do.
Of course we do. What?
You know what, Doc? Why don't you just take a moment and take a pause from taking your notes? And if you don't see something in the next couple hours that maybe changes your mind, you go right back to it. But I need your eyes.
No. Here's the thing: the thing about science is it's constantly changing. What I'm asking you is, what we feel, and from what I'm understanding from the two of you, is that you believe what is here is in fact some sort of malevolent spirit. Is that correct?
You're awful dumb for a doctor.
Well, I'm not sure really, but all I know is I'm very frightened.
Fear can make us see things that we not necessarily are able to understand. Shadows may look different or may look more frightening when we are in a heightened sense of what's going around us. I'm not saying what you had seen is fake or false. What I'm saying is there are reasons for people to lie to us. Us, not each other.
Yeah, very astute, Doc. Yes, it's real.
Okay. I will move forward knowing that. That is all I'm asking. I'm not passing judgment.
I'm gonna make my way over to the door with Maybelle. So is it, you said it's closed and there's like drapes pulled in front of it and stuff?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm following.
I'll press my ear like through the fabric onto the door to see if I can hear anything.
Roll me listen.
That's a good roll. That's a hard success.
You hear a very faint, and then a bang, bang, bang.
I'm gonna draw my guns at that point.
It does sound like there's some activity inside, and since last time it was swords flying at people's faces, I would advise all of you to just have your wits about you. Dallas, honey, do you really think you need to shoot the ghost?
Well, I mean, I think it's a ghost, but I mean, we've seen we shot a ghost before going into that one town. And it worked just fine.
Well, I maintain that mayor was just sending people to his death, but that's beside the point. All right, just
I'm gonna quickly like check both of my barrels or both of my cylinders, make sure they're loaded with silver, and then I'm probably gonna unceremoniously just kick the door open.
So as you, Bonnie and Dr. Early, are there any preparations that you would like to take moving into this room? You see the sheriff pull out his guns, and correct me if I'm wrong, but neither of you are martial, as it were.
I'm standing back.
I would stand back as well.
No,
I would
I know
make
Bonnie's
sure
got
that
her Derringer.
I would make sure that I am between them and the opening doorway.
Okay. When you pull the curtains back, you're faced with a very, a big solid oak door with glass panes, frosted glass, so you can't see through clearly. But it is dark inside. And when you kick the door open, it's not locked or anything. It comes open. You do actually roll me brawl. Brawl, just to see how well you kick this door.
Ooh, that's an extreme success.
Nice.
It's
007.
Nice. It's got it's got a regular lock that splinters when you kick it open. Like, it's not locked, but it's just like a handle that holds the door closed, and that splinters out the wood, and the door flies open. The dust from the foyer that you're standing in whirls in with the gust of the door opening, and the moonlight is streaming in through an open window, and that's where the banging is coming from as the wind comes in from the night outside. Beyond that, there are a series of bookshelves all around, with a large desk on the right side and 2 large sitting chairs on the left, as well as a large fireplace on the far wall.
I'm gonna hesitantly put one gun away, keeping one in my hand, and kind of step through the threshold while looking around, making sure there's no sharp objects. I assume they rid most of the house, but
I'll follow immediately and start to check out the bookshelves. See if there's anything good there.
I'll cautiously step past the doorway.
I think we may, given the reported activity here, want to see if there's anything amiss in this room. I know that's very vague. Anything occult activity, any sort of writing you don't understand, even if it looks like a language you think you should be able to understand.
Well, all right. And Bonnie starts looking at some of the books, just the outsides of them.
Dr. Early?
Yeah, I'm just going to do a pass over the room. If there's anything particularly interesting that catches my eye as I do a pass around the room, but that's about it.
The study is well organized. The books are done by category or genre, if you will. Like history, travel, things of that nature. There is a large Bible sitting on a small table near the armchairs, as you would see in many homes in the 1800s. Everybody give me a spot hidden.
Oh, fuck.
Success!
I failed.
I failed.
Fail.
Regular success, Maybelle?
Can I push my roll?
How would you push the spot hidden?
I don't blink.
Up. Probably get frustrated and just start pulling drawers out. Like, literally, like, just looking underneath the drawers, like, pulling back boards, like, just kind of turning the place over.
You're flipping the desk.
Or at least, like, just kind of, like, literally pulling the drawers, like, all the way out of it, like, pulling the books off the shelves. Not, like, throwing them everywhere, but, like, literally, like checking behind everything. No secret passages, that sort of shit.
You all have some history there with secret passages.
Yes.
False bottoms and drawers.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and re-roll that.
Okay. Regular success as well.
Okay. Dr. Early and Bonnie, you see Maybelle and Dallas enter the room ahead of you, and almost like this is sort of a rehearsed thing that they do. Maybelle goes around and starts checking the books and like pulling them back and making sure that they all are indeed real books. And Dallas grabs a handful of books, pulls it out, puts it back, walks over to the desk, pulls the drawer all the way out, empties the contents, like starts shaking it around. And you two are probably distracted and confused by this. What Maybelle and Dallas, what you both notice is there's some leaves on the ground, some sort of detritus that is blown in through the open window, but there's not the thick layer of dust covering everything. In fact, there's no dust on the ground at all. So there's no tracks or trails or footprints or anything like that. Nor is there any dust on any of the furniture like you've seen in other portions of the house.
Looking around the room, is there any kind of evident cause for that?
Nothing jumps out at you, but if you recall the atrium room, the piano was completely clear, but everything else was dust covered with, and even the furniture had like sheets draped over it, and the type of putting into storage that you would do if you were leaving the house as is. But this room is, even the dining room where you were, the table had been cleared off, but the fireplace still had a thick layer of dust, and the foyer had a thick layer of dust that you had walked through as you came in.
It's remarkable that everything in here looks untouched.
My, you're right. There's no dust whatsoever. Is that normal for ghost activity?
Well, I can't say that I have a lot of knowledge of the housekeeping of spirits, but it's spotless in here. You said that this room, it kind of has just like a desk and then books and a fireplace, right?
Think like a traditional study. So there's two overstuffed armchairs over near the window. Opposite of them is the desk. On the far wall from opposite the door is the fireplace, and then there's shelves with books, and then maybe a few end tables around where you would set your drink or whatever, and one of those had the big family Bible sitting on it.
Did the Manroes happen to mention what was going on when the swords flew off the wall at their faces?
They did not.
Okay.
Now, I know we all believe that there is spirits here, but Maybelle, you did in fact notice that this place is spotless. That piano was also clean. Is that indicative of spirits, or is that closer to someone actually being around?
I think it's important that we let the two of you, we are not experts, I don't really think.
I'm not saying that y'all are. I'm just saying, I think we should keep an open mind that it may be someone.
You are a stick in the mud. I'll tell you what. If we want to see if there's some kind of correlation, it would really be beneficial to our scientific investigation. Why don't you go fiddle around on the piano again?
I can't play the ivories like you.
I didn't say it had to be good.
I think it's important that we maybe stick together just in case one of us happens to see something frightening.
You afraid your science is going to hurt you?
I'm afraid that it's easier to take one of us out if we're by ourselves than it is if we are with a group.
The doctor's not wrong, and more than that, It could be a person. But
That-
what I saw was undoubtedly supernatural. That we've seen cultists do supernatural things before.
And you yourself have some sort of ability. I know this. Is it possible that there is a person that could also be using some sort of magic?
I wouldn't rule it out.
What exactly did you all see?
How would you describe it?
Well, again, it was some horrendously ugly looking shadowy figure. I mean, I've tried to sketch it here, and I hold up my notebook to her.
Yeah, sort of generically scary beyond all reason.
Well, that's... Correct me if I'm wrong. Most ghosts are people who can't let go. The concept of a ghost is a person who can't let go, right?
I would agree with that.
Well, that doesn't look like a person to me.
I mean,
No.
it may be we're calling it a ghost to explain whatever the phenomena is.
Well,
I agree that there's some explanation. I just agree that it's beyond our reckoning.
I understand. But if it's not a ghost and it's not a person,
It's a demon.
What if it's a demon?
and what do demons not like? The good word.
As I said, Bibles?
I'm gonna go over to the big family Bible, and first I'm just gonna open it to that front cover page where it says this Bible is the property of X, and see if does it have the Manroe's name in it.
It does, and it's that big elaborate scrolling writing, and it's got the entire family written down there, going back a few generations. This is an old book, and the leather on the outside creaks a little bit when you open it. Suddenly, Dr. Early, please roll me a dodge.
Let's see. It's gonna be a failure, my friend.
As Maybelle opens the Bible and everybody turns to see what she's doing, a book flies off of the shelf across from you and connects right in the side of your head. It doesn't do any damage per se. It doesn't feel good, but it hits you and falls to the floor.
I immediately grab the book, lift it up. I want to keep the page that it's open up on, but I want to pick it up and move it around and like see if there's strings.
There's no strings attached. There are no strings on me. It's a regular book. I mean, a little big, a little beat up, maybe.
I would like to then sorry, I just realized I was frozen. What's on the page?
First, everybody give me a quick sanity check, as it goes flying across the room, and everybody is, because even for Dallas and Maybelle, who have seen some pretty horrific things, this is a different level of extra paranormal activity.
I rolled a 95.
Oof.
For sanity rolls, sorry, do we need to say regular, hard, or extreme?
Nope, just
No,
success
okay.
or failure.
Success then.
Okay.
Failure.
How'd you do, Dallas?
I succeeded.
Okay. Nothing for the successes. The failures roll me a D4.
Oh, a D4.
It's just a little fright. Just
Great,
a
a
little.
4. Awesome.
Oh, shit.
You lose 4 points of sanity,
Fuck.
and Dr. Early, you lose 2. Every time you think, Maybelle, that you have mastered the things in this universe that are going on, something else happens that causes you to just jump out of your skin again. how does this manifest? How does this fear manifest in you, Maybelle?
So her intention was to open up the Bible and start reading from it to see if that did anything. But if just opening the Bible had this big of effect, you'll see her just kind of like freeze on the title page. And she'll probably start just mumbling to herself the Lord's Prayer. You know, she was a good girl. She went to church when she was young. And you'll see her just sort of start wringing her hands as she recites the Lord's Prayer under her breath, kind of over and over again to herself.
Dr. Early L., as a man of science, your first reaction is to attempt to uncover the mystery behind the book, debunk it.
Yeah.
That somebody is playing tricks on you. And when you notice that there's the book, there's nothing to pull the book, you have that momentary fright. And how does this manifest for you?
Definitely cold sweats. Definitely a moment of like surrealism, almost like not the one thing that I'm confident in, or that the doctor is confident in, is his knowledge, right? And as that is coming undone, it is more fear, and must come up with a reason why it is the way it is. And so he's definitely like not panicking so much as he's just like, and just a little bit of like nervous sweat, just like, well, it must have been forced. Maybe there's like a stick or in the hole that they could have pushed it out, or maybe it was in the lining of the book, and as they pulled the string, it had enough to pull the book, but they were able to pull the string away.
Yeah, you know, Doc, that's probably what it was. Why don't you figure out that mechanism? You stay here, and we'll go look around.
I do want to take a look at the page that was open, because I very specifically wanted to keep that page open. Is there anything of interest on that page? And will library use work in this situation?
There's not really a check here.
Okay.
So it's a book about travel, and in particular, it is titled "Traveling the Sandwich Isles." So I guess library use or history if you don't know where the Sandwich Islands are. To figure that out. And it's open to a page, and you don't know why. There's nothing in particular about this page that would cause you to focus on this sentence, but there is a sentence in there, and it's a quote, and it says, "Cannot ye discern the signs of the times?" So roll me library use or history to see if you know what the Sandwich Islands are and if you know where that quote is from.
It's a success.
Okay. Regular success?
Yeah.
So you, as a learned man, know that the Sandwich Islands are islands far off the coast of California, in the Polynesia, if you will. It's what we know today as Hawaii, and sometimes it's called Hawaii, but more often the Sandwich Islands at the time. The quote is from the Bible, Matthew. "Cannot ye discern the signs of the times?"
Okay. I'm just going to take note of that.
Do you relay this information to the rest of the group? Because again, there's nothing on this page, like it's not highlighted, it's not underlined, but for some reason that particular passage jumps out at you.
Yeah, I'll ask the group. Do any of these things ring a bell for any of you, or have seen anything around here that bring up the Sandwich Islands?
I will frantically flip through the Bible for the quote from Matthew.
Try Matthew 16:3.
Matthew 16:3, and I'll just almost fanatically sort of flip through the pages to find that passage.
And the version that you have is an older version than what is written in the travel book. And it says, "And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O you hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times?"
Storyteller.
Yeah.
Contextually, Diana doesn't know what this passage is about. Would Maybelle know?
Sure. Give me library.
Hey, remember how I got rid of that because it wasn't any fucking good to me? Oh, that's still a success.
I mean, it has to do with being asked for a sign, and or asking for a sign, and this is what you're given. Like, the signs are there in front of you. You just have to know how to discern them.
Dr. Early, I think you're being taunted.
How so?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Bonnie, look at this. Dallas, you too. This passage is all about recognizing the signs that are right in front of you and getting hit with a book when you're looking for proof of something beyond reality seems about on the nose as it gets.
Interesting.
Maybe we have to look for a certain time of day?
Or maybe we have to look for a clock or a sandwich. Like, this could be anything.
Is there anything around the room? These were wealthy folks, right? So it's safe to assume that they've done some travel, that there are maybe artifacts around? Because it's a study, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any tchotchkes from the Sandwich Isles?
A painting, perhaps?
Did you say a painting?
Yeah.
Dr. Early and Maybelle, roll me. What would this be? Roll me intelligence for idea almost. That's what we're gonna go with here.
Extreme.
Just a normal success.
Okay. Dr. Early, you remember in the and both of you in the atrium there where the piano was, you remember there was some masks on the wall that at the time you didn't take notice of, but now thinking about it, and both of you being learned individuals, they sort of looked like maybe they were exotic in some way. And I don't believe either of you have been to the Sandwich Isles or traveled much out of the US, but it's sorry, I just read chat.
I'm putting that on a mug. I just want everyone to know.
I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
This could be something that corresponds. And Dr. Early, now that you're looking at through this book, you notice some of those similar sort of patterns with the iconography of the Sandwich Islands.
With that in mind, if the doc takes a moment to kind of process, I will take Dallas by the hand on my way out of the room and back towards the piano and the masks.
Where are you going?
Come with me. I think that there's something more than meets the eye out here.
All right. I mean, are we still sticking together?
Yes, come with us. And I'm going to almost rush behind Maybelle.
I will follow.
Sheriff?
Yeah, I mean, she's got me by the hand. I'm kind of captive.
Wait, who has you by the hand?
Maybelle.
Oh, okay.
Are they hanging on the wall?
Yes. There are two masks, long wooden masks, about 2 feet, 3 feet long, with they look old, and they have paintings on them that give the mask a fierce demeanor, as it were. And they are hanging on the wall opposite of the piano.
Dallas, this is gonna sound extreme even for me. Do you get anything from these? Bonnie, you're a reporter. You've probably reported on some interesting things. Do these figures look like anything?
I'll walk up and look a little closer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would I be able to, with like archaeology or anything like that, be able to discern anything from them before I touch them?
That's the key.
Yeah.
You're using mundane
first to
methods.
Start with. Yes,
Certainly.
preferably.
Yes. Roll me archaeology. That's a good one.
Okay. Oh, bollocks. Nope. Should have taken the cocked roll, but no, I failed.
Cacked.
Yeah, I'm just. I mean, this isn't really my area of study. Maybe Bonnie, don't touch him yet, just in case.
Bonnie,
No.
do you have a role that would be suitable to learn something about these that you would like to try? Or if you don't give a shit about the mask too, that's perfectly.
I could do I could do history. I could do pretty much those.
Just go touch them. That'll help.
Not
If you
hidden.
touch them, it helps you learn things.
Go try them on.
Put it in your mouth,
Put 'em on
like
my
a
face.
toddler.
Is there enough for each of us? Could we all put one on?
There's only 2. Yeah, give me history.
I was hoping for like a Twilight Zone, like we all put them, you know.
And then we take it off and we're the pig people.
Yes,
That was my
see, she
favorite
knows.
episode.
A regular success.
With history, you sort of you know a little bit about, because you grew up in San Francisco, so this is on the coast, and you would have been much more likely than Dallas or Maybelle to have learned a little bit about the Hawaiian Islands, with ships going back and forth, and you know that these are probably ceremonial in some way, that they are often used in such a way, and without a huge breadth of knowledge, you can tell that they're pretty old.
Well, I mean, nothing really odd about these. They do look quite old. I wonder if they collected them at some point.
Is there anything else in the room? Like decoration-wise?
It seems to be sort of an eclectic collection.
Okay.
Difficult to say. Eclectic collection of art from various locations, and there's been some traveling done, as you can tell, and you don't recognize all of it, but nothing else in that vein that's
But the house
immediately
is like,
obvious.
just to be clear, it's still completely furnished, and like they didn't like move anything out. They just
Correct.
Fucking,
Yeah,
okay.
it looks like they kind of they threw some sheets over a few things to kind of protect them from the elements, and basically was just like, we're not fucking with these ghosts no more.
Okay.
Now, I do know that they're typically used for a ceremony of some kind, but I don't know much more than that.
Could it be a harmful
Yeah, I
ceremony?
mean, is it like a human sacrifice kind of thing, or like?
Oh my. Not to my knowledge. can I think a little bit harder on it or anything?
I don't know if a history roll could be pushed on that, but
Okay.
I also, there's not much more to know on these unless you were like an expert in that culture.
Fair, yeah.
Do you still have that book, Doc?
Yes. And I hand it over.
If I just kind of quickly like page through it, is there anything in there about something like a ritual or like an illustration of a similar mask or anything?
Good idea. Maybelle, did you want to say something?
I was gonna see if perhaps some of my Cthulhu mythos might come in handy just in terms of ceremonially speaking, knowing maybe not specifically this culture, but in general terms, what kind of ceremonies would be performed. And then the other thing I wanted to look at was, do either of these masks resemble the creature that Bonnie drew?
No.
No.
No, I like the parallels that you guys are drawing. So, Dallas, give me. No, actually, I'm not gonna make you roll for it because it's a book and you can look at it. So this is this is a book from the 1800s, right? Like, it was printed. If Mason was reading this instead of Dallas, you would notice lots of fallacies and just culturally insensitive things that were written in this, because it's written from a point of view of an outsider going there and reading it and writing about it. But you do see a full chapter on the natives of the islands and their pagan ways, and you do see a couple rough illustrations of masks that could be similar to those on the wall. You know, they're same size and shape, but not really any specifics on it other than wildly inaccurate assumptions. And even Dallas, as a learned man, is a little bit skeptical about the things that are being said. But nothing is written there like blatantly about baby eating or human sacrifice or anything like that. It's more Christian colonialism written into it about how there's just these pagan rites, and it's a lot more vague than you would really appreciate. Maybelle.
I was gonna say I have two real quick questions.
Sure.
What were I know you'd said this already, but I had already forgotten. What are the masks looking at, like, in the room? Is there anything like opposite of the room of it?
They're opposite of the piano, so they're sort of across the room from where you all were with the piano.
And has anyone like investigated them themselves? Like, is it like how they're being hung? I know we don't want to touch them yet, but has anyone like looked at them?
Everything has been sort of history checks and things like that to know objectively about them, but not physically about them.
Gotcha. Sorry, keep going.
Maybelle, it doesn't look like the sketch. The sketch is hard to describe. The creature is just, it exudes ugliness and evil. Reading more on the description here. Over its head and body, it had spread a mantle of the most stainless white, like a robe of new fallen snow covering the blackened remains of a conflagration. So it looks more like a burned and scarred, horribly blackened skinned creature than either of the masks.
And does my knowledge of kind of the ritualism and cults help out at all?
On the masks, no. I'm
What kind of piano is this?
It's a
Is it an upright or a grand?
A grand.
Okay, cool.
With a large, elaborate bench behind it.
Is it one of the benches that lifts open?
It sure is.
Is there anything in there?
Why don't you give me a spot hidden? And did you want to do something investigating the masks, Dr. Early?
Yes.
Okay. Give me a spot hidden on the masks as well.
Hard success.
Ooh, critical success.
Okay. The masks are, as you're looking at them, and you're really investigating, they're angled slightly so that each one overlooks the piano. While they are opposite of the wall, they are converging on the piano. Their gaze, if you were to draw directly away from it. Maybelle, but there's nothing particular about how they're like actually fastened to the wall. They're just hung up there. Maybelle, you go and open the piano bench, and inside
Is Cthulhu.
Good answer.
Bless you.
Sorry, thank you. Inside there is it's a drum-ish. Like it's a small. It's a gourd on a stick. It's very old as well. I'm trying to describe this in terms. It's two gourds that are joined together.
Like
And
one of the
you-
ones that you would go like this, and it has the beads that'll swing around and hit the heads.
Not quite. It's a percussion instrument made from a gourd. Sorry, there's not much description here that would make me understand what it looks like. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it looks almost like a water jug, but it's two gourds that are joined together with a rope in between.
Is that
It's
the only?
about
That's
yay
the
big.
only thing that's in there.
And some sheet music, but this in particular catches your eye because it is old.
It kind of matches the masks.
Yes.
Great, cool. Probably without even thinking about it, I'm gonna lift it up and try and pull it out of the bench.
It comes out easily. Nothing happens. And it is... It makes sort of a hollow noise when you pick it up. And there's some elaborate beadwork on the rope that's coming off of it.
Does it feel spooky?
Give me a spooky roll. I don't know. Nothing overtly.
So like if I hypothetically were to tap one of the heads of this drum and start playing it.
Yes, you tap it, and it makes sort of a hollow, pleasant noise.
Nothing jumps out of the wall and kills me.
No.
The temple guard does come out.
Paused.
Yeah. He was hiding behind the curtain, just kind of.
Yeah. Nothing overtly happens. But Dallas, you get a tremble down your spine, like somebody ran an icicle down your spine.
I mean, I'm looking at the mask. Did I hear her make the little bonk
Yeah.
on the not drum gourd rope thing?
Yes.
Which I totally know what it is.
Hey guys, check out my gourds.
Hey, why maybe put that down a second. I'm not feeling good about that.
Well, it's just a drum. Okay.
Why? Well, just like maybe just put it down for like a second. I got a really uncomfortable feeling whenever you did that.
Well, isn't that good? Because that kind of helps us understand what's happening.
Uh,
All right.
I don't know.
I'll put the drum down, and just kind of like take a few steps back from it.
Is the doctor looking at the masks? Was he going to do that?
I am looking at him. Yeah.
Like, did you take them off the wall? Or
Not
what?
yet. That was
Okay.
definitely the next thing I was planning on doing, though.
Oh boy!
Dr. Early, give me a spot hidden as you hear the bonk.
Hard success.
With a heart, the masks seem to shift ever so slightly to follow the gourd.
Ooh. Maybelle, pick up that gourd again and walk over there.
Does important clarification. Does the doctor seem more invested in this as a supernatural investigation now?
He is very fascinated with whatever mechanism or thing that may be moving. Or thing. I said or thing. Mechanism or thing.
Unless he looks like he's drinking the Kool-Aid now, I'm not gonna do it.
He's not even looking at you. He is so fascinated with the mask moving that he's just like, grab that gourd and walk over there. I wouldn't say you would be able to discern whether or not he thinks it's spiritual. I would say it's more of a deep intrigue.
Yeah, I will instead gingerly kind of pick it up. He's telling us to take it further away from the masks.
Just like move it on a different side. Like basically, you know how they're tilted towards like the piano and they just kind of sort of. I kind of want you. The direction I'm pointing at you is probably the furthest direction from the piano.
I'm just imagining us doing like the bunny ears on the. Is it better yet? I'll pick it up and kind of walk the direction he points just a little bit and kind of move, just kind of holding it like this.
Do the masks move?
They shift ever so slightly to keep it in range. And there's a point where they can't shift anymore because of the hooks, as it were, and they stop.
How far you want me to go with this?
Hold on. Okay. Have you ever played with magnets before?
What the fuck are you asking about?
Barely.
I mean,
do you hear a dog barking?
There's a dog in the distance. I can hear it.
I think
no,
I
it's a
saw the
goat.
neighbors had them.
It's a ghost dog. It's gonna be a ghost dog if it keeps barking. Have you? Well, do you ever notice that if you have a magnet, you got something metal and you move it, the metal object moves along with it?
Yeah, I understand the basics of magnetism. Why?
The masks are following that gourd.
This is
here.
Gourds aren't made of metal.
I'm just giving you a real world example to make you understand.
I'm sorry. Do you think I'm dense
Let's
or something?
switch places, Dallas. Come get close to this mask and look at it, and I'm gonna move that gourd across the room.
I think he's just trying to help.
I think he's about to find himself the receiving end of a punch.
Maybe there's a magnet inside of it.
I will gently hand the gourd off, make my way to the mask, kind of looking ever so closely, like you said, how they're hung on the wall, just inspecting them in the same sort of way.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna take the gourd from where it's at and move it back towards the piano, so that it has to move its furthest distance away.
And anybody that's watching sees it again as the masks, ever so slightly. It's one of those things where if you didn't see him before and you didn't see him out, like if you didn't watch this process, it's a very slight shift.
Does it seem like the masks are almost pulling towards the gourd or just facing it?
They're just facing it. They're
Okay.
watching it as it goes.
Well, that's
they're, like-
quite strange.
They're attached to the wall, so they can't like make real big movements or anything
Well,
like
that's
that.
what I was
but
gonna
it's
say.
just-
If it looks like they're actually trying to like come off the wall, I will facilitate that.
Is it just the masks moving or the hooks moving? Maybe someone's inside the wall or behind the wall.
I feel
I
like
don't
you're
know,
about to have
Doctor.
another book thrown at us. Comments like that.
Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
here's the thing. Spiritual or not, understanding how it's happening is secondary and tertiary to why it is happening.
Duh. Are
You're lucky I took an oath.
Bonnie, do you recognize this gourd thing that the Doc's got?
why don't you try playing it a
Well,
little
I mean,
more?
I mean, it looks like it's from the same islands, maybe. It looks very old as well, just like the mask. So, I mean, they're related somehow.
So we can do a couple different things here. Maybelle, if you pull the mask off the wall, it's heavy. It's made of a very thick, heavy wood, and it's deceptively. You pick it up and it's, and it doesn't pull towards the gourd or anything like that. But there's almost this attraction where it just like a slight pull towards that gourd, just a slight, like you can easily overpower it as it's trying to do this, but if you were to just let it sit there, you feel just a slight pulling towards the direction where Dr. Early is holding that gourd. So Bonnie, if you would like to do a history check to learn a bit more about this, and same with any of the rest of you, if you'd like to do history, archaeology, or if you can make a case for library use or natural world, any of that would work.
Regular success on history.
Okay. Jake's frozen again, but it was in such a pensive manner that I didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't.
Me neither.
Hard success on history.
You said hard success. Dallas, you checking anything?
I'm not rolling on this one now.
Okay. Dr. Early, you rolling anything?
Is I will say, as they're looking into it, I'm just kind of scanning the room, looking for things flying or killing.
Yeah, unless there's a library use in this situation, I'm not going to be helpful.
With the travel book there, you could use library on that.
All right. Success. Success with a 60. Well, what?
Okay. So you kind of get this like this look in your eyes, and you rush over and you grab the book and you start looking through it. Maybelle and Bonnie, you both rolled history, correct? Okay. You don't necessarily know exactly what this is, but between the two of you, you've read books on ancient cultures, and you know that there's a lot of things that a lot of ceremonies that are used in the from your perspective, the more primitive cultures that utilize masks and musical instruments for a variety of different ceremonies. And Dr. Early, like they're very important in these cultures, though. The dancing rites and the music and the masks usually representing ancestors or gods or something from the other world. And Dr. Early, as you're flipping through, you actually find some sketch drawings of the instrument, not in the same chapter as the masks. And this one seems to have a little more down-to-earth knowledge because it's very straightforward that this instrument is there's a couple different versions of it, but it's used in the Sandwich Islands in their dancing ceremonies, and it's used by the medicine men as well, and used for a lot of different methods and ceremonies for everything from weather dances to praising the gods to nothing deadly, nothing overt, nothing like sacrificial or anything like that. It's all sort of protective spells and things like that.
Yeah, it's all positive. None of it is overtly negative. It's quite interesting. Oh, come on, you stupid camera.
What's interesting, Doc?
Well, if we go down the line of thinking about this being a spirit or a demon of some sort, we're kind of getting mixed faiths. We've got a Bible, and we have got these religious masks. Both of them having some sort of maybe connection or occurrence, or something with both of them. If it is in fact something mystical of some sort, we are looking at something that transcends faith. But Maybelle, when you opened the Bible, that's when the book flew from it. Now that could be correlation or causation. We should test the Bible again.
All right. I mean, if it means I get to watch you get hit with another book, I'm down. But I don't know that we should take the drum.
I think the drum should stay here. I'm just saying that we're seeing movement. The faiths that deal with this drum and these masks, peaceful of sorts, they do have some sort of movement to them, whether it be mechanical or spiritual. I'm starting to lean towards spiritual, as there doesn't seem to be any sort of reason for them to move. And if there were a magnet of some sort in here, it would have to be quite a strong one, and don't feel my pocket watch or my flask moving. So I am leaning towards something else. Reasoning?
Bonnie, you've reported on lots of stories, right?
Well, yes.
Do you see any logic to how all these things seem to be connected? I don't understand how some kitsch from the Sandwich Islands has anything to do with a Bible or a demon or anything else, but there's got to be some connection, right?
Well, yes. I mean, whatever's trying to maybe communicate with us, maybe it's tied to these things, but on the other hand, I mean, the doctor was hit very hard in the head.
It's true. Are you feeling all right, Doctor?
I'm perfectly fine.
We need to keep an eye on him. To be clear, as a player, Dallas is just totally fucking with the doctor at this point.
Well, and the doctor's definitely like, but why though?
Doc, you did take a little bit of trauma to the head, and maybe we should be careful.
I think we should leave the doctoring to me, maybe?
I'm just saying, head trauma is like prime way to get yourself possessed.
Well, that's
Does it
not
look
exactly
like he has any
comforting.
bruise or marks on his head?
No, it was enough to like jar him, but it's not. It wasn't damaging. It wasn't thrown with force to do damage.
I
Pop his eye
didn't
out
take
or something.
any hit point damage. I'm just weak, okay?
We know.
Man of science.
Science.
I mean, if anything, I think we should do what the doctor says. I mean, it can't hurt, maybe.
I mean, unless you all
Hopefully
have a better idea. I mean, this is kind of the only thing that we have to go on.
I could try communing with him again, but I would like for us to look around a bit more to make sure there's no other hidden ancient sacrificial artifacts or whatever the hell hiding around this house.
I have a feeling the deeper we dig, the more we'll find.
So how do we decide what's doing the haunting?
Well, let's do as the good doctor says. We'll leave the masks and the instrument here, and maybe we bring the Bible back in here, see if there's anything else. We still have a lot of house to explore.
Should we all go together still?
Preferably. I mean, as well as things have gone in here, I didn't feel anything positive.
The most I'd be willing to do is splitting up again into twos, but we should never split into fours. But I think Dallas is correct. Staying together is probably the best idea.
All right, I guess
Well,
I'm just gonna lead the ducklings in and go grab the Bible, then walk back into this room. So maybe if there's a crucifix, grab that on the way.
As you all go back into the study after the Bible, everybody give me a spot hit.
Hard success.
Fail.
Extreme.
Nice.
Got a regular one.
Okay. Dallas, with a regular success, as you walk back in, you notice that where you sort of dumped out those papers, the wind has blown in and disturbed them from the desk.
Where did the wind blow in from?
Because the window is open still.
Oh shit.
Dr. Early, you notice that there's sort of a stack of newspaper articles that have spread across the floor from that wind. And you see several that have to do with J.P. Manroe in particular. And Bonnie, with an extreme success, you see these articles and you remember several years ago, you were young, much younger. You know, this was about 15 years ago. And you remember something about J.P. Manroe in a vigilante group? And as you start looking around at these old newspapers from a newspaper publication called The Californian, which, with your knowledge of the area and the printing press and your father's business, was a short-run newspaper. Only a couple years it lasted, but there were several articles there that, as you pick them up and take a look, on J.P. Manroe as it was called The True Californian. So after the 49 gold rush, there was a large increase in crime here in San Francisco. And there was a vigilance committee that was formed by some of the more well-to-do citizens of San Francisco. And Mr. Manroe was dubbed the judge advocate of said group. There was a journalist that was murdered in one of the mining camps, and that sort of brought on this vigilante committee. And there were rumors about this committee that they didn't always give due process, if you know what I mean. vigilante in the purest form. That sometimes the quickest and most expedited trial was a hangman's noose at dawn or a couple bullets in a shallow grave.
Oh my, I haven't seen any of these papers in years, maybe more than 15 even. It didn't last very long, but I'm starting to remember the name JP Manroe. I think he was part of some group bringing justice, but not with the law per se. There was a miner murdered, and I mean, I don't think he was on the right side of the law all of his life.
So there would be people who wanted to hurt him.
I would suspect so. He probably has many enemies.
Well, that could be a causation, as you brought up, Doctor.
I'd like to start looking closer at the papers as well.
Sorry, this dog is whining at me.
Okay.
Yeah, the newspaper articles are mostly favorable in his praising his knowledge and justness with dealing with this growing crime. And there's one article in particular that talks about how there was maybe some suspicious as they went on, and the dates went on, some of the headlines were a little more brutal, all still positive, but reading them from your perspective, you're looking at it with sort of a different lens on it, that maybe this wasn't, maybe it was the Wild West and things had to be done, but this isn't how civilized folks should deal with crime and things of that nature.
This family seems to be collectors, right? They've got a bunch of stuff from different territories and different lands and different places. From what you're telling us, it might be that, I hate to say this, but it might be them coming back for revenge.
I mean, many of the people who were judged weren't really judged fairly, from what I remember. No trial, no civilized manner, no process, just, I hate to say it, but just the noose.
So they were savage.
That doesn't explain an inhuman presence here.
It doesn't? Why not?
Because what Bonnie and Dallas saw wasn't a human. It wasn't a human spirit here for revenge. It was something more, something worse. Bonnie, did they ever perhaps take some of this justice out on people who might have had unsavory connections with the beyond?
I mean, it's quite possible. It was like they were trying to stop crime with crime. So who knows who they were part of?
And who's to say some tortured human spirit couldn't turn into something else?
Or draw the tension of something that is darker.
Bingo. Now you're starting to get it, Doc. See, I knew we'd get there. Maybelle didn't believe in you, but I believed in you the whole time.
Do you all really want to believe that that's something that can happen to us when we're gone? I've seen a lot of things, but I think I'd prefer to believe that If I'm stuck here as me and not something else.
No, well, I believe Dallas is more saying that by doing something dark and evil and truly not right can draw the attention of something like a demon.
Yeah, I think it's general. You kind of put out there that negativity, and you're bound to get it back.
I mean, I'm sure whoever's families were involved weren't very happy either.
Someone could have been upset and brought up a creature like this.
Can I go, Dallas, did you say you went and got the Bible and took it back into the music room?
Yeah, I figured we went and grabbed it and brought it back.
If you'll let me, I will take it out of your hands and flip through to a passage, and start reading as I kind of just do a wide perimeter walk of the room.
Which room?
The music room.
Okay.
Or the atrium, I suppose.
And I don't know if that's the correct word to describe this room, but that's what I went with. Conservatory, maybe? I don't know. Lots of windows open and musical
It'd be pretty if it weren't haunted.
Yeah, you pick a verse at random as you carry this large, bulky Bible and walk around the room, and you don't see anything stirring from the masks or the instrument. In fact, the four of you all feel almost a benevolence around you. It's hard to describe, but like you're enveloped in a large, warm bubble.
When did this start?
When she started reading.
Oh, is she reading out loud?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I missed that. Sorry. Feeling that change, I'm going to take a seat probably at the piano, since I don't think there's anything else nearby. Just maybe even facing away from the piano, just sitting on the bench. And I am going to attempt to focus in again and see if I can... I don't know if there's multiple things here or what, but I want to know how to remove, just clairvoyantly, how to remove the kind of malevolence from this place. Hey, guys, I'm gonna try again. We're getting all sorts of good stuff, I think. I think we're getting closer, but... And Spirit, I'm talking to you too. This would be a lot easier if you just tell us what you want. So I'm gonna try one more time.
Give me that roll.
All right, I actually have to make like 2 rolls. I think it was a D6 to see how much magic I spend. 4, not the worst. Okay. Oh, okay. I succeeded.
I apologize. What were you trying to do?
I was using my clairvoyance to try and discern what needs to be done, knowing what we do now, kind of like following those threads, what needs to be done to remove the malevolence from here.
You get an overwhelming sense of dread. And that warm, you feel that you in particular have that warmth, stiff, as Maybelle is reading from the Bible, just a random passage, nothing in particular, and you feel it bow in, like something is trying to pierce it and get to you as you're reaching out with your psychic energies, and you're able to touch that thread just a little bit through this sort of protective barrier that Maybelle is unknowingly or unwittingly casting around the four of you. And you feel just a spike as you sort of think like ET. You're reaching out through that barrier, and something reaches back and touches you, and you are overwhelmed with anger. Just it overcomes your current emotional status, and you are angry at everything, everyone. And in just an instant more, it's gone. But that boiling anger simmers in your gut for just a little while longer, where it's you have no outlet for it, and you have no reason to be angry, but it's there. And for a moment, you remember the last year of your life and everything that has happened, turning upside down, and Ulrich Wolf disappearing from your grasp, and then just like it's gone, but it leaves an oily taste in the back of your mouth.
And I don't have any indication of where to place the anger.
Nope.
I'm gonna start just kind of walking around gently, like touching the masks and the gourd and things like that, seeing if any of them spark that same feeling in me while it's fresh.
If anything, the masks and the gourd give you that same similar feeling of protection and warmth. There's not anything malevolent coming from these masks. So you have a couple things here. You have the articles that point towards vigilante justice. You have the artifacts from the Sandwich Islands, and you have this third presence that's made itself known a couple of times now. It might be time to maybe question the Manroes a little bit closer and see if you can figure out anything else about this family and their history.
Do we know where they would have gone?
That's what I was gonna say. Are they here?
Yes, they told you before they left that they had a secondary residence that they had been staying at this past 5 years.
Do we know where that is?
Or 15 years. Huh?
Do we know where that is?
Yes. Yeah. They left an address with you before they left.
Okay.
So you could contact them when it was all said and done, as it were.
Did anything happen this time?
Well, yeah.
The lights went out.
There's definitely something here, and it's very angry. But I'm not getting that sense from any of the objects in this room. It may be, maybe we can use these masks and the instrument to banish it, but we can't even attempt to begin something like that just off the cuff. We could end up all possessed or dead. So I think we need to find out a bit more. I think well, I was gonna say the fact that it's hanging around here means to me there's got to be a lot more to the story we don't know.
Maybe we should ask the Manroes more. I think they're still nearby.
Yeah. Did we have their address where they're staying?
Yes, I wrote it down.
Maybelle, did you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, well, I say we do just a quick pass, make sure nothing else is obviously crazy, and just kind of glance around the rooms, make sure there's not anything obvious, and then maybe we head out.
Doctor, what do you think?
I think asking some more questions of the living might be helpful to discover what's going on with the unliving. I can read and understand and try to understand why they would lie or get more information from them. Can't really do that with something I can't see, feel, or touch.
Well, I agree with the doc, though unfortunately I can feel it, and I don't really like being here very much, if I'm being honest.
I have a feeling that we'll be back either way.
I think so.
Maybelle, are you feeling all right?
Yes, I just don't much like the idea of once a problem's gone, it should be gone. You shouldn't have to keep dealing with something after you've dealt with it. But if Mr. Manroe is the root of all of this, I'd be willing to bet that he knows exactly what he's done wrong, so let's go try and suss it out.
He may be done with them, but they may not be done with him.
Let's go chat with the man, shall we?
You see him immediately take a note down after you say that.
What does it say?
He closes his book if you move anywhere.
Storyteller, what does it say?
I don't know.
Alright, at the first opportunity, I'm gonna snatch that book out of his hands. Maybe not right this moment, but when his guard is down.
2 episodes from now when Jake forgets.
Yep.
Does anybody want to go back to the Rapno house and do anything, check their resources, or do you all want to go straight to, it is getting late. Do you all want to go straight to the Manroes?
Yeah, I think if it's getting later, I would want to head there and then go back and study in the evening. Not in this place, but in a place not haunted.
Yeah, I also just don't want to show up on their doorstep, like, in the middle of the night. Like, they leave us in their haunted house, and then all of a sudden we follow them. Seems a little rude.
What time is it?
You all had dinner, and you've spent about 2 hours. It's probably 9 o'clock at night. It's not dead of night, but in a society that mostly goes to bed with the sun, this is a little later than perhaps us modern folks would do.
Then I think we'd head back to the Ratno house.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
And you do, your valet in the carriage is still waiting and takes you back to the house, no problem. And Herbert is there waiting. He waits. He's awake when you all arrive and immediately offers refreshments and anything else that he can get for you all.
Yeah, we want books on the Polynesian islands, all sorts of instruments, any history you've got on the Manroe family or the local area. I'm just gonna start rattling off things for him because we've got a guy now. So.
Well, shit.
You did this.
Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I did some research on the Manroes as soon as you left, and I've pulled out quite a few books. I didn't have anything on the Sandwich Islands or the Polynesians, but I wasn't prepared for that. But the family's local history is pulled out and is upstairs awaiting in the library.
Well, keep up the good work. I'm just gonna immediately. You set up upstairs.
Yes, sir. In the library.
Well, I've got some reading to do. If you all want to join me, maybe we can split it up and just have a grand old time reading about spooky shit.
I think I'd like to spend some time preparing for returning to the house. I have a couple of ideas I'd like to get out to keep us safe.
All right.
Well,
I'll join you with the reading.
I'll join you as well, unless Maybelle, you need help.
Oh, no, I'll be fine, dear.
All right. Well, you just holler if you need us.
Okay. I am gonna bury my face in books once again.
Okay. What did you want to do, Maybelle?
So Maybelle would kind of she would construct sort of a cart, almost like a trolley, that has two large sort of flange instruments on the front to hold the masks that were hanging on the wall, as well as a small what do they call it? Oh my god, like a pulpit thing to hold on to the Bible. So basically the intent is that you guys can kind of like wheel around the protection with you.
Okay. Oh, like a podium?
Yeah.
Okay.
With masks attached to the front. Real.
Ugh.
Okay. I it's pretty basic. I don't think you need to roll to see if you're able to do said thing.
I mean, it would also probably have like a spring-loaded net in it somewhere.
All right.
And a big glove that comes out that's attached to a spring that punches things.
Let's not be ridiculous. Just a spring-loaded net. Scooby-Doo style. Like,
I was about to say this got some Scooby-Doo vibes. In that case, roll me your tinkering, and we'll see how good this is. The rest of you going to the library, true to his word, Herbert has laid out several articles on the Manroe family, and you do see the true Californian articles that you had seen previously snipped out, and you see the full stories now, and you see how there's this devolution of the city as the gold rises, crime increases, and then this vigilante group comes in, and they're praised not only in the True Californian, but in the San Francisco Chronicle and the other newspapers of the time for bringing law and order to the metropolitan of San Francisco. I have some more information, but I'm trying to figure out if this is the best time. Sorry. You all are throwing me for a loop. Everybody give me...
You played yourself, Justice.
I know, I did. The three of you give me library use. Library. As you're in the library. How'd you do, Maybelle?
hard success.
Hard success? With a hard success, I'll give you your net launcher. We'll figure out the mechanics of that.
Oof. A success with a 77.
Holy crap.
Success. Regular.
My library uses an 80.
You said library?
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
I couldn't use like language since it's an article or...
Nah.
You can read. That's about all that gets
Yes,
you.
I mean... Oh, look. Oh! Critical success, though.
Hey.
So, as you all are scouring these newspaper articles, and Herbert comes up and starts pulling off a few volumes for you based on the Polynesian islands and what they know of those areas. And these are less travel books that he's pulling up and more encyclopedic volume style things. And with a little more proper information, if you will. As you're flipping through the articles, regular success gets you more of that vigilante style justice that is prevalent in this time period. And you see JP Manroe in some black and white photos standing next to a gallows, with a couple different folks hanging from them. It was a different time, and they apparently, by all accounts, did good work. Bonnie, you got a hard success, and Dallas, you got a hard success.
Mine was regular.
I got a critical
I think
success.
his was
I got
critical.
one. Yeah.
With a critical success, as you're going through these articles, you find just a small, obscure article about a newer phenomenon of sightseeing and travel for pleasure happening. And the article is dated it was dated for a time in 1856 that you remember being vaguely timed to that first encounter. And you see the name mentioned, Manroe, but it's not JP, damn it. It's Alice Manroe, who was the woman introduced as Mr. Manroe's sister. And it was an article about how they had just returned from the Sandwich Islands, and the wonders and treasures that they saw and sought. Just a short article that they had come back on a clipper that was one of the first ones going out to Hawaii and back for pleasure cruises.
I'll kind of take that bit and kind of slide it over to the other people to see what they make of it. Seems like they may have been there personally. Wasn't just a random artifact they collected.
Well, I guess that explains the masks then.
Question is are they stolen?
Well, I'm willing to think somebody thinks they are. Maybe, but when I look at the articles, Justice, do any of them spark that same sort of anger? Any mention of vigilantes or the travel, or is any of that residual stuff still hanging around?
Are you trying to do a psychic thing on it?
I was trying to just, sort of. I wasn't trying to reach out for that same anger again. I was just kind of hoping I would be able to make sense of it. See if because I kind of osmosised the ghost's demon anger.
Because he's possessed now.
Yeah, because I'm possessed. Did I post that public? Justice, that was a private.
Suddenly your head whips all the way around and your jaw unhinges and a black smoke pours out from it. No.
Glad I'm not in the room.
Maybelle's just sitting there in her workshop. Ting, ting, ting.
Whistle while you work.
But you know what? I will go ahead and one more time try clairvoyance. I'm going to specifically focus on their trip. I want to know about that. I don't want to know about the ghost in the mansion. I'm specifically using my clairvoyance focused on what they did, just to get some sense of it. That way I also have ammunition when I go talk to them later.
Blackmail.
Okay.
Yeah, blackmail.
And clairvoyance is specifically towards
So clairvoyance is I can pick a subject, is my understanding. I can't read somebody's mind with it, but I can be given almost otherworldly guidance, I guess.
Okay.
Up to however, it's very interprety up to you, the way it reads. It's page 85.
Cool.
Also known as second sight, clairvoyance enables perception beyond normal human senses, allowing the psychic to gain information about an object, person, location, or physical event. The clairvoyant may sense ghost and invisible mythos creatures, identifying the rough whereabouts of a missing object or person, blah, 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 blah. Detect whether a tragic event occurred in a certain place, and so on. So if I that sort of thing.
Okay. And you're focusing on the travel article, correct?
Yeah, I want to see if I can find out if they did anything shady while they were there.
Okay.
Yeah. Reg. Wait, is that it might be a hard success? One sec. A hard success.
So, travel at this time into these places was not benevolent generally, as a general rule. These folks might have believed that they were going there and doing no harm, but the fact that they had these articles that are of some importance to the natives of those islands in their home displayed on the wall is evidence enough that they were doing something that they shouldn't have. Now, from that article and that feeling and that you do get sort of a it's not great, but that anger and that evil spirit doesn't come out of that. Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, that's they were there on pleasure. They weren't doing anything overtly malevolent to their knowledge, but it still wasn't like a. They shouldn't have taken the articles that they had taken, the artifacts rather.
Yeah, okay.
Here we go. But it didn't have that same malevolence, that same anger that came with the other.
I think we may be. I mean, this is good information, but I think we might be looking in the wrong direction a little bit. I'm not getting the sense that everything they did there and the things they brought back are what.
Am I within earshot?
If you're out working on your thing, that's going to be an outside, where Dr. Early and Mason had their drink before. There's kind of a blacksmith shop and a workshop back there. But you are welcome to come back in if you are finished with your project, and you all can convene for just a moment more before we end for the evening. If there's any last minute things that you would like to say to each other.
Still ain't afraid no ghosts.
Sorry.
No longer than 6 seconds.
I'm just thinking when I was there, I don't know, I kind of felt safe when Maybelle started reading the Bible and these other artifacts, the masks and the gourd. I didn't get anything evil off of them. It's almost like it was keeping it at bay, whatever it is.
Like protection, maybe?
Yeah. Like a very thin barrier.
Well, I don't really like the sound of a thin barrier.
Oh, me either. I just think the Manroes have a lot more to tell us than what they're letting on.
Well, do you think we should rest tonight and then go visit them in the morning?
Yeah, I might stay up and do a little more reading, but yeah, I think maybe that's our first stop in the morning. If that's right with all y'all.
Sounds about right.
Maybelle, you've finished your project at this time and have made your way up as they're wrapping up here.
Gentlemen, good night. I'll see you tomorrow.
Have a good night. Doc, Bonnie, are you two okay though?
Yes. Is there a reason why we wouldn't be?
I'm a little shaken, but I'll be all right.
Maybelle and I, welcome by the way. The two of us have seen quite a bit, and I know that this was a little bit different today, maybe, than what you're used to, and I wish I could tell you it gets better, but it gets so much worse. So if you want to back out, I don't know if you signed some contract with these people, but that would be a good time.
Well, that's not very comforting to say to a lady before retiring.
I'd just rather be honest.
Bonnie, if you don't want to be by yourself tonight, I understand. I had my sister when all this started happening to me, so I'm right down the hall if you need some company.
I think that may settle my nerves a little bit, thank you.
Of course.
And as everybody parts ways for the evening to retire to their respective bedrooms, we are going to put a bow on this one for the evening. And we will be back next week with the conclusion of the Haunting of the Manroe house. Hopefully, maybe. Who knows? We might survive, we might not. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. It was a little slower as we try and figure out everything that's going on here. It's a twisted tale of the Manroes. So let's do our outros in opposite order. Diana, what you got going on lately? Where can folks find you?
You can find me here. We just posted the schedule for the next month and a half, 2 months-ish of shows here on Bard and Barbarian. Every Wednesday you can catch me over on Renegade Games' channel, running the nightlife of Vampire the Masquerade Chronicle set in Miami, where things are starting to fall apart for our coterie.
And you are where on the socials? Folks can find you and follow you?
At D'Amico Diana on Twitter.
And Dallas Rex, Mason Dula.
Yeah, guys. Fun game tonight, even though he said it was slow. It was...
Yeah, right? Like...
That's some of the most fun parts, I think, of Cthulhu stuff is when it gets kind of slow. So thank you, Justice, and everybody. It was fun tonight. But my name is Mason Dula. That's at Mason Dula on the Twitters and things. You can also, again, we have a new company thing going on here that's going to be launching a bunch of stuff real soon. So go follow Nerd Honest on the Twitters and the Twitches and all the other places where social accounts exist. And you'll find me all sorts of places soon, because I think, when do we have Jake and crew? When do we start back our...
Next week?
Next week.
The 23rd is my understanding, but that has changed
like 4 times now.
Yeah, multiple times. So.
Maybe next week, find us on Q Times, where Jake is awesome and does things. But okay, anyways, yeah. I'll be there. Maybe.
We don't know.
Yeah.
Goes
Bringing
over
back our world of darkness.
Oh, mysterious.
Just gonna send a message to that group chat now.
Good call.
And Ms. BB Gaines, Bonnie Baker.
Hi, I'm BB Gaines. You can call me BB, but you can find me anywhere by BB Gaines. And pretty much only been playing this recently, but hoping to get back into streaming, some games and also art as well. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Dr. Early Lanton.
I don't know. We'll find out next week.
Yeah.
We'll find out. We're going to go by whatever Diana wants, because I want to do nothing but make her happy. And so I see that face. I know what you can do to my life, so I don't want to
I appreciate the fact that you realize what you're risking.
Yes, so my name is Jake. You can find me on Twitter at IndigoQT, or you can follow me on @_QTimes, which is the channel that I run. And I sent a message asking about Friday, and the response is, I am if you all are. So possibly Friday you can see the final arch of the World of Darkness stream, which started with vampires, and then went into werewolves, and then ghosts, and then mages, and then now they're all combining together.
Changelings.
Changeling. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
How do I forget about changeling?
I don't know.
I don't know. There's maybe it's just a purposeful mental block.
And that's the 23rd, next Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, guys, seriously, go follow Q Times. It's a great show.
And they have a
Great
week
show.
to go catch up on all the other stuff.
Yeah, because there
True.
isn't like 20 episodes of that.
There's more than that, isn't there?
There's at least 4 for each one. Oh,
Yeah.
and Vampire
Had at least 8,
yeah.
but we
So,
lost the first one, so who knows?
There was never a first one. I don't know who keeps spreading that rumor. There was never a first one.
I can't use that lie. I've done it over here too. I don't have the first episode of Iron, Dust, and Blood. Period.
Oh,
So,
that sucks. That's
yeah,
rough.
I'm real good about that.
Yeah, there's
Lessons learned.
Yeah, twice.
Joey's dead.
Joey's not dead. Joey is going to kill any silver thing that exists. Anyways, so that's going on. If you want to see me as well, I am on Voidcat's streams on Saturdays, where I am playing a Vulcan engineer who mind melds with machines, which is really fun. And the cast doesn't really know that yet, and that's kind of been like a little fun little secret thing that I've been doing.
It's out. You just told everybody.
No, the audience knows, and like the players know, but like the actual characters don't know. Like they know I can do. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But yeah. Also, we just posted our first episode of Game Gorgon in a really, really long time, since like pandemic. And so if you like Pathfinder 2nd Edition stuff, go check that out, where I made a elemental witch build. That's everything that I have. I'm done speaking now.
Cool. I have been your storyteller keeper this evening. Thank you for joining us. As always, follow these fine folks. Find them on social media. That is a super easy way that you can support them and let them know that you enjoy the content that they produce. Follow, like, subscribe. They've all got YouTube channels. They've all got Twitch channels, and they've all got social media, and that is completely free. We have a store, and we have a couple products for Iron, Dust, and Blood right now, including, some beautiful spell books by Elderwood Academy. And we also have a shirt that is still on pre-order that has Gatlin Horse on the back with some wonderful art, and some mugs for Gatlin Horse. But
And we're
thank you all
coming up
so
on our
much.
1-year anniversary.
We are coming up on our 1-year anniversary for a store, so we're going to have some cool promotional and some new items that will be available. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Other than that, I'm Stash Mandu on all the socials. You can find me on Instagram posting pictures of my face, and where I'm not doing anything on Twitter, but I probably should. And that's about a wrap. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next week, Tuesday, for Dread Rising with our Outbreak Undead coming back at you. And a week from now, more Iron, Dust, and Blood for the exciting conclusion of the Manroe Haunted Mansion.
Ooh. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Thursday. Shadow Lord sucks.